Hello everyone, my name is Huang Yuanyuan. I'm a graduate student from Distributed and Embedded System Lab of Lanzhou University. And it's a great pleasure for me to be a co-presenter to share our research with you. Today the topic we want to talk about is disappeared coins steal hash rate in Stratum secretly. Our presentation will be divided into 4 parts. I will introduce the first 2 parts. They are mining and pool and Stratum protocol. And the main speaker will introduce how to steal hash rate in Stratum and the proof of concept later. With the increase of the number of miners and the improvement of the whole computing power of blockchain, it is more and more difficult for a single independent miner to establish miner block to obtain revenue. So many miners combine their computing power in the form of cooperative mining to establish a mining pool. The mining pool will assign jobs to the miner who joins it. According to the computing ability of miners, each miner is assigned a shared target with different difficulty. After completing the jobs, each miner who joins the mining pool can get profit according to the contribution to the mining pool. There are many settlement strategies, such as paper shells, paper shells plus, and full paper shells. Here I will take Bitcoin as an example to explain what proof of work is. Every miner tries to figure out the solution of the Bitcoin puzzle. If someone finds out a solution, the block he mined will be the next block in the blockchain, after other participants verify that his block is valid. Before generating a block, all transactions need to be verified whether they are valid by miners. Then the valid transactions are packaged into a block. And the new block is generated through proof of work and added to the blockchain. Each block will collect a set of pending transactions in the Bitcoin network. But the first transaction in each block is special, called Coinbase transaction. It is used to specify that when the current block is mined through the proof of work, the miner will receive the corresponding block reward and fees. The figure here illustrates the structure of the Coinbase transaction. From this figure, we can see that the Coinbase transaction can be divided into 4 parts. There are Coinbase 1, Astronauts 1, Astronauts 2, and Coinbase 2. Astronauts 1 covers the first 5 fields of the coin transactions and part of script. The Astronauts 1 covers a small part of script in the Coinbase transaction. It is specified by the mining pool and is unique for each connection between the mining pool and the mining machine. The Astronauts 2 covers a small part of script immediately after Astronauts 1. When a miner solves Bitcoin puzzle with proof of work, if the nonce is exhausted, Astronauts 2 will be incremented to figure out the puzzle. And then Coinbase 2 covers the rest of the Coinbase transactions. Now I will introduce the Stratum protocol. The communication between miners and mining pool needs to follow mining protocols such as Stratum protocol, get block template protocol, and get work protocol. We focused on the Stratum protocol because it is widely used, and brands put forward an upgraded version at the end of 2019. Called Stratum version 2. Stratum protocol is based on TCP/IP plain text transmission protocol using JSON-RPC data format. From the table here, we can see that only the Slush pool supports Stratum version 2 among the mining pools with top computing power. So the Stratum version 2 has not yet been widely used, and we don't have the corresponding mining machine which supports Stratum version 2. And mainstream mining machine and mining software currently do not support Stratum version 2. So our attack schemes are only aimed at Stratum version 1. Next, I will introduce the communication process of Stratum version 1 in detail. First, miner initiates a subscription request to the mining pool to establish a connection through the mining subscribe method. This method needs two parameters. The first one is user agent, and the second one is an optional parameter that represents the actioners one that the miner wants to continue to use. After receiving the above subscription message, the mining pool will return the subscription ID, actioners 1 and the actioners 2 size. After that, miners use the mining authorized method to send an authorization request to the mining pool. This method needs two parameters. They are username and password of the miner. And then mining pool returns true or false to notify miner whether authorization is successful. After that, the miner will use mining actioners subscribe method to inform the mining pool that it supports the mining set actioners method. After successful subscription and authorization, the pool will negotiate the difficulty value with miner through mining set difficulty method. The difficulty needs to be compatible with the computing power of mining machine. And then the mining pool assigns jobs to miner through mining notify method. The mining notify message contains several fields, such as the ID number of job, hash of previous block, Coinbase 1, Coinbase 2, list of Merkle branches, Bitcoin block version, the encoded Bitcoin network difficulty, and the current time. And the last field of the mining notify message is named claim jobs. Its type is Boolean. If true, it means that the miner needs to stop the current work and execute this new work. When the miner finds out the result that matches the difficulty that mining pool set, miner uses mining submit method to submit the result, which called share. And the mining submit method will send job ID actioners to and announce to the mining pool. Besides that, the miner can use mining set actioners method to reset the value of actioners 1 and bytes of actioners 2 saved by miner during the subscription phase. So far, I have covered all the important communication steps in Stratum protocol. Next, the main speaker will introduce the rest of the presentation.
Thanks, Yuan. Hello, everyone. I'm Liu Xing from Lanzhou University, China. Now I will share our latest finding in Stratum hacking. The man-in-the-middle attack in Stratum has a pretty long history. The most famous one, as mentioned in Stratum V2's introduction, is the Bitcoin attack. In this slide, we name this as direct job injection, because in Bitcoin, the attackers inject the tasks, hijack the shell submission, and change its user labor. This is user labor to attackers. Bitcoin works well if attackers and victim use the same pool when the connection is properly hijacked. But we all know that it limits the man-in-the-middle effect. As attackers, we want to steal hash rate to anywhere we want. In section 2, we present a simple introduction in Stratum. As mentioned, the actioners 1 is used to construct Coinbase and calculate the share. However, actioners 1 is different in each connection. In this situation, if we just follow the Bitcoin's way to submit share to another pool, the pool will reject the submission. Because we cannot calculate the correct share in this way. To make the man-in-the-middle more Practical, we make two new man-in-the-middle methods. A set actual nonce-based man-in-the-middle and a time segment-based man-in-the-middle. The key question is to fix the actual nonce one. At first, we denote two types of polls, just in case misunderstanding. The malicious poll is run by attackers and the normal poll is the victim's poll. At first, we see the normal situation. We can see the manner and the poll works well, everything well, no man in the middle, a very typical situation. But for a man in the middle model, the adversary keeps three connections with the manner, the normal poll, and the malicious poll. The adversary inserts the job from malicious poll into the job flow of the normal poll. The manner will work for normal poll and our malicious poll. The adversary established the connection with the malicious manning poll and then listen to the subscription and authorization message of the manner and forwards them to the normal poll. After receiving this message, the manning poll will respond the manner with actual nonce 1 and actual nonce 2 sets, which will be saved by the adversary. And the adversary will also save the difficulty and the job information sent by the manning polls, both the normal poll and the malicious poll. When the manner works for the normal poll for a period of time, the adversary will reset the actual nonce with actual nonce 1 and actual nonce 2 sets of the malicious poll, and construct the set difficulty and notify message, and then send them to the manner to make the manner work for the malicious poll. This process is based on the set actual nonce method. Set actual nonce method is a standard method in Stratum protocol, though it's very seldom to be seen in real-world Stratum traffic. But we read the documentation of the Stratum protocol and found it can be used for man-in-the-middle attack. It can reset the actual nonce 1. Then the adversary forwards the shares to the malicious poll. After completing all the above steps, the manning set actual nonce method will be used again to switch the manner to work for the normal manning poll and repeat all the above steps. Here is the sequence diagram. If the attackers only steal 5% of the hash rate, it will be very unobvious. The manners and the poll can hardly find these attacks. We can see from the sequence diagram the process is very simple and almost no actual cost, so it has really good performance. But the job injection solution is not suitable for every manner. Therefore, we have a third one, the time segment method. The adversary in the time segment method hijacks the TCP communication between the manner and the normal poll, and make it work for two manning poll, respectively at the different time periods. For example, in this figure, the time segment is 10 minutes. The manner works for the normal poll for 10 minutes and works for the molecules for the other one for 10 minutes. This method is based on reconnection scheme. At the end of the first time segment, the adversary will disconnect from the manner and the normal poll, In the second time segment, the adversary is waiting for reconnection from the miner and then make a new connection to the malicious pool. The actual nonce 1 is refreshed. So our man's middle attack is effective. To validate our method, we made some pokes. We use the BTC poll as the backend. The poll software, the BTC poll is the backend of the poll.btc.com. It's an open source project on GitHub. We built a two mining pool to simulate the normal poll and the malicious poll using this. And the miner we use is CC Miner. It's a kind of mining software that needs to be installed on the miners. It's an open source software, of course. We use 3 video cards, 3 GPUs for the mining process. We do not use ASIC miners because they are all sold out. I tried to buy some of them, but I failed. Then I will introduce the first poke, the Java injection based on set actionons. We build a prototype. It will give 1 share to the malicious poll after 10 shares submitted to the normal poll. We can see from the log, the right half of this image is the output of the attack script, and the left part is output of the CC miner. We can see the miner received the job message and the difficulty message hijacked and forwarded by the adversary successfully. Just this. After the miner submitted several shares to the normal mining pool, it received the mining set actual nonsense message constructed by our adversary. And it can be seen that the share submitted by the miner for the malicious pool was accepted by the malicious pool. This is the key issue. We solve this. We fix this. We can see the log. Now we also made a video for this. The second one is the time segment. During the time segment attack, our adversary needs to switch connections to different ports at a fixed time segment. we set time segment to 10 minutes. In the first 10 minutes, our adversary will forward the subscription and authorization message to the normal pool. The miner will only work for the normal pool in the remaining time. At the end of the 10 minutes, the adversary will disconnect from the normal pool. In the next 10 minutes, the miner will reconnect to the pool and the adversary will hijack the TCP connection to the malicious pool. The miner will only work for the malicious pool in the remaining time until the time segment ends. We can see the miner receives the job, the difficulty, and to find it, them forwarded by the adversary successfully. And then we can see the adversary successfully forwarded the shares submitted by the miners to the normal mining pool. At the end of the first 10 minutes, the Stratum connection interrupted because the adversary disconnected from the miner and the normal pool. We can see the connection is interrupted. And then the miner reconnects to the pool, and the adversary hijacks the connection to the malicious pool. We can see the start, 10 minutes passed, start to the malicious pool, and 10 minutes pass and start to the normal pool. It's round, round, and round. The malicious pool has received and accepted shares submitted by the miner. We can see it's blue. As the second 10 minutes ends, the adversary disconnects from the miners and the malicious pool and will be waiting for the reconnection of the miner. We also made a video for this. Now we summarize these two methods. Job injection is more powerful, of course, having better performance and more difficult to be detected. But some miners do not support the set actual nonsense method, making it useless in some situations. Therefore, we have a second one. Time segment method can be used for almost all miners, but it's much obvious in traffic and will cause performance loss because of connect, disconnect, reconnect, disconnect. In a word, they are all effective, but the job injection is much more elegant. Nowadays, we all know many SPs are using traffic hijacking for illegal profit-making activities, such as pop-up advertisements. The most common thing. If they change the target of hijacking to Stratum, it will greatly harm the interests of miners. Of course, it's very dangerous to the blockchain community. Okay, that's all. Thank you for your listening. Thanks.